Welcome to the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. This is your most informative socio-political program you can find online. We bring you all the facts and updates on issues that matter to you. My name is Ismail Akwei. In this edition, we are going to discuss piloting. That's piloting through the air, of course. And there are so many people who fly planes, others fly other things. However, there's one form of piloting which is quite rare in this country. We have a pilot who is going to talk to us about his craft and his work, and you learn more from this. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown. My name is Ismail Akwei, and we are going to have this discussion with a pilot. We all saw Kwahu Easter, and one key feature of the Kwahu Easter is paragliding. However, who paraglides? We normally see white people coming into the country to paraglide with other people or Ghanaians who are interested in paragliding. However, there is one Ghanaian who is a paraglider in this country, and he's the only one from the country. However, I understand that many people are also trying to get some training. But how did he get there? How did he do it? We have this pilot in our studio, and he's our guest, Mr. Jonathan Quaye. Welcome, Mr. Jonathan Quaye.
Thank you.
So, do you call yourself a paraglider or a pilot?
It's a pilot, paragliding pilot.
Paragliding pilot.
Yes.
And there are two types of paragliding pilots. There's a solo, and then there's a tandem. What's the difference between the two?
A solo is someone who flies on their own. They have a set of glider or equipment that flies only one person. A tandem is a set of equipment that flies with another person. So those are the two differences.
And how long does it take one to become a pilot, a paragliding pilot?
In a year, to become a solo, in a year, like with training, even in a couple of months, you can start.
In months?
Months, yes. You can start flying solo.
Does it come with some risk?
Yeah, risk as in...
accidents?
No, that's why you don't learn online. You don't learn from books. You go to an instructor. They teach you the basics. If you do that, you are very safe. But we find people also thinking it's easier. So they go to YouTube and learn. And that's where the risk comes in.
Have you come across anyone who tries to paraglide here?
Well, I've seen a couple of videos online of people who are trying to do it on their own without instructor. It's a very bad idea. You don't do that. It's a very bad idea. Yeah.
But you are well trained and you've gone through some courses and you've already paraglided with people. You did the tandem paragliding. How did it feel like being the first Ghanaian to paraglide at the Kwahu Easter festivities with other people?
Okay, first of all, to start, for me, paragliding is more or less like a journey. It's like a spiritual journey for me, because I used to be like that hash type, like riding motorbikes everywhere. But when I got into the sport, I was like, oh, there's something better than doing all those other adrenaline sports. So it was more or less like, oh, I'm also glad I could take someone on and let the person feel or have an experience of what I feel when I fly in the air. So it was a humbling experience for me.
So you go after the adrenaline?
The adrenaline is there, but there's also a lot of calmness when you're out there.
You look very calm, so I don't see you being on a motorbike doing all those, stunts and all that. You used to do that?
I didn't do stunts. I used to ride bikes a lot.
Okay.
I used to ride bikes. I have like 2 accidents. Then I was like, oh, that's it. I'm done. So let me just look for something else to do. But I think I started. I got involved in paragliding earlier. Okay. Even before the motorbikes. So I knew the feeling. So
so there was paragliding before motorbike?
Yes, there was paragliding before motorbikes.
So now let's go back into your life and see, when did it actually start for you?
Before I went to uni, I've traveled through the country. I think I was like 17, 18. I was like traveled through the country everywhere for 3 months, solo, like on my own, without my parents' knowledge. And it was a bit of a challenge. Like, you left your house one morning, like, I'm going over there. Why are you going? There was no phone. There was nobody to check on you. So you go and when you see a phone booth somewhere, you call your auntie and they'll go to your auntie's place and they'll be like, okay, your son called. You said he's in Tamale. Or you called. You said he's in Sunyani. That kind of thing. So I came back. I've done all the adventure things I need to do.
Why were you doing that though?
It was on an expedition. So like
personal expedition.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was like, there's nothing wild that I have not seen. So then we went to uni, France. It was earlier 2004, 2005, they started making the noise. Okay, okay. I was like, what is there that I haven't seen? So my friend was like, okay, let's go. It's from Quaye. Let's go have a look at it. Then I got there and I saw the people fly. I remember that day I sat on the takeoff for the whole day. I didn't go.
You're just watching people fly?
Watching people fly, go up and down. The next day I came. So my friend asked me, what is it that I've seen it already? What is it that I still want to go back and I'm like, there's something special about this thing. It's like, okay, he's not doing it because he knows his house people, so he's not interested. I'm like, okay, fine. Then the next year, I went back. I flew again. The next year, I went back. I flew again. So
you paid to fly?
Yeah, I pay. Okay. I always pay to fly with that. So I kept going for like 10 years.
Wow, 10 years?
Yes. So, but all along, I've been speaking to the pilots. What's the possibility of learning, blah, blah, blah. If I have a friend from outside, oh, could you get this book for me on paragliding, blah, blah, blah. But I found out that there's no way, if I really want to learn, I can just start and learn from it. Because one, there's no school. Equipment are expensive. You need an established place with good weather and or like time-tested place before you can say, oh, if I go and I have like 20 days, I can do enough and come back. So I think in 2015, somewhere around 2015, with the press, we were giving the pilots pressure. So there's a guy called Braveheart. There's a group called Braveheart. They also have, but they don't do paragliding, they do adventure sports. So together, we spoke to the pilots and they brought some used equipment and they decided to train us for a couple of days.
On paragliding?
On paragliding.
How many were you?
We were like, I think like 5 or 6. They asked a lot of people to come, but nobody came. Like,
it was announced openly?
It wasn't announced, but the GTA made it like, oh, if you are interested to fly and if you are from the GTA, come and learn. Like, come and do the basics. It was like a couple of days. It wasn't like the real thing, but like something, an opener, like for us to see our interest. So after the training, it was in 2015. Then I was like, oh, okay. Now that I've held the glider, I have felt it, I've sat in the harness, I've done ground handling. You can't fly with that one. You need like a school to give you the necessary certification that, okay, you've passed the first stage, you can be on your own to fly. So then I have to go look for a school and go and learn. So I traveled outside to learn. So
from 2015, you had your first shot at paragliding.
Yeah, training.
However, you needed more.
Yes, you needed more.
And you went to school.
Yes.
So how did you select the school?
So in selection of schools, you have to look, first thing you have to look at is cost. Because the prices are not the same. But mostly the trainings are the same. You know, there are a lot of certifications that we have. We have the USA, like USPA, it's called USPA for USA. We have BAPH for UK. There's a general one to like worldwide, APPI for a lot of like other organizations that are not in the US or UK. And there's South African one too as well. So I was looking for cost-effective way to do it. And then I came up with APPI.
Okay.
So in APPI, I also have to look at weather, where would be like favorable. You know, sometimes you go for a school or you go for training, you are working, you book for 10 days. So I want to go for 10 days and go and it snows the whole time. It means you can't train. That means that it's kind of shit. You have to come back. So I was looking for all these things. So I decided to go to India. because their weather and our weather is somehow similar, even though the mountains are there, and they are also doing a PPI. So
I would like us to talk about the school, the certification, and the rest, but let's go back a bit and talk about your preparation towards this stage, the training stage. You said you were in school. What were you studying in school at the time?
I was doing my master's.
You're doing your master's in what
International Finance and Controlling.
So you are more of a finance person?
Yeah.
That's your background?
That's my background. Yes.
Okay. Background. And then after school, were you working before?
Yes, I was working. I started working. Initially, I was teaching in the university. I was TA.
Okay.
And then after TA, I moved on to work for Vision Fund. It's now called Vision Fund. It's like World Vision subsidiary.
Okay.
And that's it. Then later on, I moved on to work for another organization called Self Search. Yeah, so it's more or less like career. It teaches about career stuff like that. So all along I was working somewhere, trying to save coins here and there to make it. So it was in Self Search that I decided that the way it is, there, I have to go.
A lot of the things that you say are mostly self-initiatives, like the self-adventure. Now, self-search, you are looking for more. It looks like you are a DB. I mean, coming from a house that is well to do. Because you wanted to gather money at 17 to travel the whole country on your own.
No, I don't come from the Dabi family. So let me go back again. Okay. I actually grew up in Choco.
Okay.
So somebody who grows up in Choco is not a Dadabi. It's no way. So but later I moved on to stay with my uncle. Then I went to stay in Awoshi. So like at a very young age I left home. Yeah. So like everything like, oh, I have to make an initiative on my own. So that's how I come. So but I think when I decide to do something, I focus more on it and make sure I achieve it. Yes.
And what's besides paragliding, what's one adventure that will shock us that you've ever embarked on?
You know the history of Ghana. Before Ghana, there was a Songhai Empire. Yeah. And there's a route called I've forgotten the name, but Ghana, Guinea, something. I've forgotten the name. But the route goes through from Mali through to Timbuktu all the way to Bamako. It's a route. It's like, it's not a slave route, but like it's a trade route. Yeah. So one day in uni, I read the thing in book. I was like, but this thing does it really exist? I was like, okay, let me just go look out for this thing. Then I packed my bags, small money in my pocket with a Visa card. Not plenty money, some small money on the Visa card. The purpose was like, if I go out, the money finishes, the one in my pocket finishes. The Visa card is the last resort. So I did the route to Burkina Faso, went through Niger, then I went to Gao. Gao is where the trade route starts.
All by road?
All by road. That's where the trade route starts. So there's something like pontoon. It's a desert actually, but it's a pontoon or like a boat that travels on the desert all the way to Timbuktu.
Which river?
There's a river. Yes, there's a river there. But luckily and unluckily for me when I got there, the pontoon it comes once a week. So if it's there like on Tuesday, it will come back next Tuesday. And I can't stay there for such a long time. So then I decided that, okay, then I'll travel on the desert, all the way on the desert to Timbuktu by car. It's not like trotro, it's like pick up, you just hang on the back, and there are like other passengers, and they just go. When the guy gets somewhere, he's tired, he stops and pray, they prepare food. If it's going to take 3 days, you don't control anything, you are just on the bus. So I did that trip on the bus, on the pickup, from Gao all the way to Timbuktu. Then when I got to Timbuktu, I was like, wow, I want an adventure. But this one, I really had one. Like it was a beautiful experience. I met like lots of people and made a lot of friends.
So Timbuktu was your last stop?
Timbuktu wasn't my last stop. My last stop was supposed to be Bobo de la So. So we got to Timbuktu after leaving from Gao. It's normally supposed to take like 2 days, but it took us like 3 days more. We got to Timbuktu. I stayed in Timbuktu for a couple of days, visited like the architecture, before the war, the architecture, everything. Then you could find a lot of people and nice, everything. Then I traveled from Timbuktu by the same Pantu. Then he was coming back,
Okay.
so I met it in Timbuktu and continued to. There's a place called Dijeri. It's the other side of Bali, so I'm supposed to dock there. Then I'll pick a bus from there to Bobo de Lasso. I got there. Then they said, oh, this is the bus going to Bobo de Lasso. You just get into the bus. It will get ready in like, the next couple of hours. And I stayed on the riverbanks for 4 days.
The bus wasn't...
The bus wasn't getting full.
Wow.
Nobody was coming. I don't have money to do any other means. The only thing is like, hang around. Then in the evening, I'll go and sleep in the... There was no hotel, nothing. In the evening, I'll go and sleep in the bus. Then the next morning, I wake up, hang around, and come and check the bus. No, the next day, like this. So I did that for 4 days. And after 4 days, luckily the bus got filled up. Then we left. Immediately we got to Bobo de Lasso. The first ATM I saw, I just docked. I was like, I'm not going again. You just continue. This is enough. But one thing that kept me on the riverbanks, I was happy. I saw so many like Ghanaians. They were not Ghanaians. Okay, they were Ghanaians, but they are like traders. So they sell shoes and things. They take it there. So you be walking there, like you hear someone mention, "Hey, Kwame Braha," like those things are like okay. At least there are some Ghanaians around, so it kept me going and going.
It means you have a lot of stories to tell.
I have.
You've really gone on a lot of adventures.
Yes, I have.
Wow.
I have.
Well, we'll talk more about paragliding adventures.
Sure.
Right after this break. This is the Lowdown. We are speaking with Jonathan Quaye, Ghana's only tandem pilot. And we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV, and our guest is Mr. Jonathan Quaye, and he's Ghana's only tandem pilot. That's a paragliding pilot. You are giving us so many interesting stories of your adventures, and your adventures led you to get some interest in paragliding after you saw it being done in Quaye. So now you had the training with the Ghana Tourism Authority. They organized the training, right?
So it was more. So the pilots always come with they come on behalf of GTA.
Okay.
So it was more or less like, okay, people who want to try their hands on.
Yeah.
You see, if you are not a pilot, you never touch a glider.
Okay.
There's no way, like in this country, if you are not associated with a pilot, you can't even touch the glider. So it was more or less like an opening for us to have a feel of how the whole system works. So that was when we did that, then it opened the window for me to go for the further training. For
the benefit of our audience, what's a glider?
So a glider is a piece of cloth that has been scientifically woven with lines that we harness or seat that we put on, and we take it up into the air. Okay. That's what. So
what we see, the whole material and everything
top like this
is a glider. Yes. Okay, including where you sit in, the strings that they sit in.
No, you don't sit on a string. The glider is inclusive of the strings.
Okay.
So this is the glider, and there are strings like that. When the strings get attached to the seat. Okay. So but the seat is known as the harness. Yes. Okay, so you told us that you started searching for schools. And how did you find one, and which one did you find? So I started searching for schools, and I came across one in India. It's a 5-star rated school by APPI. Okay. So an APPI too is a Switzerland organization that is into licensing of international pilots. Okay. So paragliding pilots. Paragliding pilot. No, APPI. No, it's not only paragliding. It's paragliding and hang gliding. Okay. Both. Okay. So I found them, and I read about the APPI, and I look at the course structure, and I look at everything. So even though my training was in India, my certification came from Switzerland. So okay. that kind of thing. Yeah. So I found a tempo pilot in India. I was like, wow.
That's the name of the school?
That's the name of the school. So I spoke to them, and they're like, okay, cool, we can come, blah, blah, blah. Then I did all my basics, then I have to go.
So you paid for it yourself?
Yes. Okay. I paid then. I paid a lot of money. I was then driving my flashy Golf. Like, Charlie. So one morning, I just woke up like, I went to the Indian embassy first to acquire a visa because I have to go to India. So when I got the visa, there's no money to go to India, buy a ticket, pay for course fee, all that, accommodation, all that. So I was coming to work one morning. Right, Charlie, the visa is here, there's no money. What do you do? My salary too can't afford to do. So I was coming one morning and they think like, Charlie, carry there.
It has to go.
It has to go. I like, Charlie, fresh boy, Golf, Charlie, those times. Then I got to the office, I parked the car, I thought about it, and I printed for sale. My office was then under the traffic light, Sakama Junction.
Okay.
So I just parked the car under the traffic light, like the roadside, and then I put the for sale on it. Within 2 days, someone came to buy it. So when the guy bought it, that same day, I bought the ticket. I changed some money, like dollars, put what I have to put on the ATM, and told my boss that this is the issue, but I need some time off to go and do this. So no, you know, normally Ghanaian bosses would be like, oh, you can't leave your job. No, I was like, no, if this is what you want to do and you really like it, shall we just go for it?
Wow.
She just gave me the permission. She was even thinking maybe when I go, I won't come back. Like, no, I'm not, I need to come back. So I paid everything, went to India, did the training in like 3 to 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Yes, then I came back. Like traveling up and down, everything was like, no, like 3 weeks, and I came back. The reason why I was able to do it in such a fast time was like good weather.
Okay.
So normally some places you go, you fly once a day. But I remember even one day we flew 8 times. So like you go up and down, like so you have the opportunity of learning more and doing more activities and all that. So in no time I was done and I came back.
So what was involved in the training? So
initially it's physical because you see the glider works in such a way that you see how big it is, you think you need like a lot of muscle, no. So, but when you are new and they give you the glider, hey, you want to use all your energy, no. So you do all those physical things and you get to a realization, no, that's not how it works. There's more technical side of it to it than just being physical. So, but another physical aspect is that it's a small hill. So whenever you land, you have to put everything together and hike up and take off again. And hike up. So in a day, if you are doing that for like 8 times, you could imagine how physical.
So that's all you do. You do just go up and down, just fly.
No, they have like theory classes and they have like practical classes and they have like assessments as well, and yeah, like also verbal exams that you have to do. Yeah. So you do a couple of things. The instructor comes, check in with you, make sure you've understood everything. There are simulations that you have to do, like this. There's a place that they've prepared like a seat, but in the school. So they teach you what you need to do. They are saying, oh, turn right, how you turn right. Yeah. Like all those things they teach you. Because what happens is when you are in there, the instructor is not going to be there. I've seen instances they tell somebody, turn right, then the person is turning left. Then they say, your other left. Then before they come back to their senses that, no, this is the left. So the other left is here. Then they come back. So because people get frightened. Yeah. First time being in the air. You see, paragliding is the only sport that they ask you to, before you want to learn, they will ask you, have you tried it before? If you tried it and it's for you, no. You get it. Because people get frightened, like in the air. But once they get over that fear, everything is just keeps going like that.
And do you have any people like you from Africa in the class?
No. There was no African in my class. No. There was no. It was Indians, Europeans.
Was it a huge class?
So I've been going going up and down. Every time you go, there's a session of people in the class. So maybe it can range from 10 to like 20, depending on the season and people who are coming. So in all those periods, I've never seen African in my class.
Okay. No. So after the training, and I'm sure they taught you how to read the weather and all of that. Do you use equipments to do that?
Yes. So there's a whole course on weather that you study. And it goes in relation to, you also have to be seeking the meteo department here. You also need their, most of them do their information to also read the weather. There's a whole lot of weather that you do that sometimes you even ask yourself, are you like a weather person? You really go deep into weather because your life is actually dependent on the weather. The speed of the wind is important. What type of clouds is happening at that particular point, you need to know. You also need to know the atmospheric pressure of the place you are flying at any particular point in time. So it's more, you need to. It's a must. It's not like, oh, you look. In the basics, when you start out fresh, you don't know because you just look at it, oh, it's good, when it's coming. But no, when you start getting further, you read all those things and you understand properly. Okay. You appreciate it.
So when you were done, was there a graduation ceremony?
Oh, not really. So normally what happens is I go done with the training, I come back, we come and do Easter, fly my own, continue like this. So it's a learning process. You always keep learning. There's always something new coming up. So
when you returned home, what was the first thing you did?
So
did you go back for a job?
No, so when I came back, my boss gave me the permission after the first time I went.
Yes.
So when I came back, she was happy, we were okay. Then I told her, then I think Easter was coming along. So then what happened was I spent all the money from the sale of the car and everything in the travel. So when I came, I got to the airport. I packed my bag, everything. I got down. I saw a taxi driver. Charlie, me. I'm going home. I'm going with Trotro.
No money.
No money. So I came back. Then it was getting to Easter. But I've done the training. You know, the school, what they have is they have like various gliders. They are huge gliders, like with weight ranges, design, brands, everything. You need to try at least a couple of them before you know, okay, this type of glider is good for me or this one. So I've done everything. But when you are coming, the glider is not for you. You leave it for them. So I came home, no glider. Then Easter was coming. But like the pilots that we trained together, I've been with them for like a couple of, for a lot, like over 10 years. So they know me, So I told one of them that I need a slightly used glider, but I'll pay when they pay me my next salary. It's like seriously, you need a glider for what? I was like, oh, I've finished the training, blah, blah, blah. And there's a logbook. So it's like, okay, no problem. Where did you train? Which school? You see, it's a small community. Whatever I do here, people in other places will know. Yeah. Pilots know pilots everywhere in the world. So we spoke to one or two people, lo and behold, boom. There was a pilot who was coming, who knew the pilot I trained with. Okay. And they talked, how they spoke. Like, how was he, like, you know, these people, they give genuine, no hello things. So we did that, and I told them I need a glider. Then when they were coming, they brought a glider for me. Then that was my first glider I had. It was an Oxzone.
Which year was that?
That was like 2016.
So that's the first year you flew alone?
Yes, in 2016 on my solo glider Oxzone. So we just go and take off. Everybody was nice, everybody was happy, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, hey, this guy is from nowhere, set up the glider and just took off like that. And
everybody was watching?
Everybody was. They haven't seen Ghanaian asking. Yes. So there was it was a big news, but for me it's no news because I've been working towards it, so I know it'll come to this point.
Was the glider for free or
no,
they sold it
for free.
To you?
I think then I paid somewhere close to like $500.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you do any tandem flying
no
that
tandem.
That
it was
year?
Solo. It was always solo.
Okay.
Yes. So I flew solo 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. And
at the time you're the only Ghanaian who was flying solo even at the time.
Yes. Then I think somewhere along one Ghanaian also came along. It's called Michael. He's from Switzerland. He stays in Switzerland actually. So when he also heard about it, he has then started his training. So he also came along, then he also came to join. But now I'm glad we have like 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 Ghanaians.
No, 3 more. So yes, 1 from US, 1 is here, then Michael. So plus me. So we have 4.
Yeah. So 4 Ghanaians flying, but are they all flying tandem?
3 are flying solo.
And you are the only one flying tandem.
Yes.
Okay. So when you got or when you flew solo from 2016, when was the first time you flew tandem?
It was in late 2019,
and
but it wasn't here.
Okay, it wasn't here.
No.
Did you have to go through training before you could fly tandem as well?
So all these years, from 2015, that I was telling you, I've been going to India and coming like this.
Okay.
So I work, make small coins. Oh, okay. Then I just drop in, go for training, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, come.
So you
like
keep going
that.
for training, and
Like,
they are all paid.
Yes.
You have to pay for the training.
Yes, personally. Like,
So are they trainings to improve, or they are just trainings to fly?
No, so there are steps. So it's like you go from class 1, then go to class 2. So like your basic training, you can fly on your own, but you can't do certain maneuvers.
Okay.
When you go higher, you can do certain maneuvers. And when you get a little bit higher, you can do advanced maneuvers. So you keep going and be doing these trainings and be writing exams and like stepping your game up like gradually. You don't need to rush, because if you rush, everything will just jumble up. So every year I try and go at least 1 or twice like this.
Did you need any clearance from the Ghana, Civil Aviation Authority, or even the Ghana Tourism Authority before you flew?
No, the sites we fly in Quaye, Civil Aviation has already declared the place, so it's like a flight-free zone, kind of up to 8,000 feet. So it's on their record. So when planes are passing, they know that, okay, this height, they don't need to come below. So like it's always safe. And also the GTAs, the sites we fly on in Quaye for GTA, you have a more or less like you have a paragliding site. And normally what happens in the world is like worldwide is like it's open up for everybody to come and fly with your experience. So I go there, the caretaker is there. I was like, oh dude, I'm here. I want to do a couple of flights. The issue is that if you know you are not fine or the weather is not good for you, you don't have to go cause problem for anybody. So you don't fly when you know conditions are not fine. Those are the things. So every time I go there, and it's been going back and forth. I've known the guy for a very long time, so it's like more like we are friends now. So I just go lay my glider and I just
So when exactly do you fly? Only Easter, or the other times that you fly?
No, I don't fly only in Easter. So the issue is that sometimes people think we fly only. No, there are a couple of other places we fly apart from Quaye, but those sites are not like developed sites. So we go there, do like a couple of flights. If you want to change the weather, so like it's only in June, July, when it's raining season, that we don't fly. But even rainy season, sometimes you can find some chances to fly.
Can you share some of the sites with us? Not that we want to fly, but because nobody can fly tandem like you do. But can you share some areas?
So there's one close to Osudoku. There's one in Osudoku actually.
Around the Shire Hills area?
No, not the Shire Hills. Osudoku. Osudoku, when you take the branch from when you're on the Akosomo stretch, before you get to Somania, there's a branch that goes to what's the name of it? Estuary. So on that stretch, there's one there. Nice site, but bad road. So you have to hike up. That's the challenge. Then there's one we also discovered recently at Somania. Okay. You see, on the roadside, there's one. So we discovered a place there. We've flown a couple of times there too. So that one is another one. Then we've discovered another one too in Kuforidia, but it's not for us. So maybe in future, when we have a lot of pilots, they can also venture into those places.
So in 2019, you flew tandem the first time.
Yes.
And with other, how many times did you go that day? Or that period?
So then I was on training in India.
Okay.
So I had then gone for my SIV training, advanced SIV training. So you do all, that's where you see adrenaline by itself. Like you do all the real stuff, like anything that can eventually happen in the air, you stimulate it on that kind of training, but you do it over water. So in case you lose out.
Over water?
Yes. In case you lose out, you just fall into the water. Then there's a boat that will come and carry you. So after I've done that training and everything, then I went to the world's second highest paragliding site. Okay, it's India's first highest paragliding site. It's known as Bear-Billing. It's called Bear-Billing. It's in the Himalayas. Okay. So the takeoff around that place is around like 2,500 meters. So what happens is you take off, you just turn around and you're in the clouds. Like, whoa. It's an amazing place.
So you go through the clouds?
It's an amazing place. You just get into like, so I I did another couple of trainings there as well. But after my SIB, I did another training. So I was done with the training. I was like, there's nothing to do. I have more time. What do I do? So I was there. I was like, one of the instructors there is very popular in that side. It was like, you know, we meet people. I went to this restaurant. We were talking. Like, he hasn't seen my type. Yeah. So like, from where, like, we spoke, Ghana, blah, 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 blah. So then I was like, what am I doing here? It's like, oh, I just finished my cross-country training, and I'm just chilling out, relaxing. All my friends were gone, because most people, what happens, people work, so they were all gone. I was left with me alone. But every morning, I go to take off. I do a couple of flights every morning. So I was just there. So we wake up in the morning, we go and fly, we come and have lunch, hang around, in the evening, look for beer. Like this, like, so one day I was like, oh, come to my place, like, we're having a chat. And I was like, oh, then you need to go to your next stage, because apparently he was watching me from far. Oh. I was like, then you need to go to the next stage. So there was a big tandem business. The guy who handles a big tandem business there, was like, okay, talk to this guy. So I talked to the guy. I was like, but we all, so for some reason, everybody was watching me. I didn't know. So the guy was like, okay. Then we started a tandem training. We did a couple of flights. No, initial ground running, a couple of days. I was like, okay, let's go up. Then we did the first flight. So the feeling from solo, transferring from solo to tandem is also different. Wow. You know, now you are with a passenger who doesn't, you assume he doesn't know anything. So you have to explain the whole process, and you have to calm the person down. And that really was like, really something else. Yes. And
how long did it take you to do that training?
So it was, I think, like 10 days. Okay. Yes, 10 days to do the initial training.
And after that was it?
That was it.
Were you given anything to show that?
So when you do the training, what happens is, like, you do training, practicals, exams before your certification becomes complete. So done with the training, I came to do practicals, then I wrote the exams. So like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so you wrote the exams and you passed?
Yes, the exam is online, yeah.
And when was the first time you flew tandem in Ghana?
I think it was 2020. So then I also came back after that training. Then I didn't have a tandem glider, so I have to look for one. So when I bought one, my friend, he's also he's a pilot now. I told him that I'll need to use him as, how do I say it? Like someone to test. Yeah. And he was like, oh, no problem. He's adventurous. So it was like, then we took off. It was in the afternoon in Quaye. He posted a video online.
But then wasn't Easter season?
No, it wasn't Easter. It was like a normal day. Yeah. I took it. Then, you know what happened? After I flew with him, that same year, he also went to South Africa to learn. So he understood that I can teach him, but he has to go to school. Yeah. So he also went to South Africa to learn. So now he's also a pilot. No, he's a solo pilot.
Solo pilot. Yes. Okay. So that's when he learned the first time.
No, he has also been coming to Quaye like every time. But you know, in Quaye, we fly maximum 10-15 minutes. But if you are flying with your friend and it's a good day, you can go 30 minutes, 1 hour. So like, you see, you could float more. There's no pressure on you. Yeah. That kind of thing. So after those feelings and everything, I was like, no, I need to go. It's like, yeah, just go. And just took the opportunity to go to South Africa to learn. Yeah,
well, that's quite interesting. And we'll be talking about how you make money from flying right after this break. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. This is the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Ismail Akwei, and our guest is Mr. Jonathan Agyeing Quaye. And he is the only tandem pilot in Ghana here. So if you see people flying in Quaye with other people, that's what he does. And he invested money into doing that. So you took us through all the adventures and everything. You go for flying in India and other places yourself just to have the adventure. However, the question is, do you get paid for flying? Is there any way you could make money, or do you make money during Easter? Do you make money from the GTA when you fly people?
No.
You are not paid?
We are not paid for flying. Kwahu is more or less like something to push the agenda of paragliding or adventure sports in Ghana.
Okay.
So more or less like let people be aware that we are flying. So ever since I've been flying Kwahu since 2016, I have not received any salary.
What about those who are flown into the country, the pilots that we see, all the white people and all the foreigners? Are they paid, or they are also doing it for free?
So they are also not paid. They are doing it for you know, they like the experience of coming and sharing the experience with people here. So that's the major thing, that's the reason why they come, because it's also a holiday for them, kind of. Yes, because there's no scheme or anything that could say salary that they are paying pilots here and there. No.
But let's go beyond Kwahu and look at other countries. Is there a way people get money out of paragliding?
Yeah, so the first thing as a pilot that people, especially paragliding pilots, is not about the money.
Okay. Because
you can go weeks, months without pay or salary or income. If you focus too much on the monetary aspect of the sport, you never do it. Like I would have stopped a long time. Because I can't remember, I go and do consultancy job, I'll make a lot of money. Then I come and invest everything, then I come back to zero. You understand? So if I was thinking, okay, tomorrow I need to start making money, then uncertainty will set in, I'll make mistakes, and you need to have a clear mind. Like you need to be at ease, like when you are doing the sports. Money comes as a result of, like, let's say, over time you doing the sports and people knowing you, like, because that's what is happening in other countries. When they know you and everybody knows you, oh, you're a pilot, blah, 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 then maybe occasionally, every weekend, you are flying people, you make something, but it's not like you are going to make like $1 million or something. No.
Is it the same as flying the hot air balloon, though?
No.
Okay.
So there are two different adventures. It's same way aviation, but have you seen someone fly? It's this thing, I don't know how to say it. It's not a hot air balloon, but it pulls you over water. I'm forgetting the name. But one thing about paragliding is that you can go wherever you want to go. Hot air balloon, you can't. You can't go wherever you want to go. You go up, then it flies you to a particular direction, then you go and land. But there are records of people doing paragliding or flying cross-country distance for over 500K. So you could understand, like, and there's a lot of adventure, like, whilst in the air. So two different sports. I'm
asking because I see a lot of hot air balloons carrying advertisements and all of that, and I know that's a way of making money, but I don't know about paragliders. Do you also carry advertisements for people, and do people sponsor for you to fly?
Yes. So let's say you can say like GhanaWeb. GhanaWeb say, okay, I want to invest in your business, so I'll buy you a glider.
Okay.
So in buying the glider, you put the name GhanaWeb. So wherever I fly, GhanaWeb will pop up. So we have like pilots like that.
Okay.
But I think most people who make money out of paragliding are competition pilots and acrobatic pilots. Then also whilst teaching, that's the only way you can make money.
So there's competitive paragliding?
Yes, there is. It's huge.
Oh.
It's really huge in Europe. They have something they call the XC cross country race. It's really huge.
What do they use to measure winning? I mean, do you need to get there first or
no.
faster?
So you either fly or walk. Those are the two things. And you are traveling from some part of France to Monaco. So you fly through the mountains. Then when you lose out, you walk, you climb up a hill. So from France to Monaco, it's all mountains here and there. It passes through it passed through like 7 countries. So you fly through all these countries. They give you points. Let's say today you fly from here to Spintes. Then tomorrow you fly from Spintes to like Labadi, something like this. So you keep going, but in countries. It's a very big competition.
Okay.
But here we don't have that thing yet. But luckily too, we have the landscape for it, but because we don't have a lot of people coming in.
And also a lot of people can't come in because it's expensive. Looking at all that you've gone through, that's a lot of money.
It is expensive, but if you look at aviation, it's the cheapest sport.
Okay.
Yes, like because imagine airplane, and just imagine buying hotel balloon. It's much more expensive than that. But
so
like,
the glider is cheaper than buying a small helicopter.
No, helicopter is expensive. Yes, the glider is cheaper. Yes, yes.
How much is it? Around how much for the solo glider?
The solo glider is the whole equipment is in the range of 4K.
4,000 cedis? Dollars.
Yes.
And what about the tandem equipment?
Oh, like we are crossing 8K.
$8,000.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot, of money. Yeah. Yes. And so, how much did the Ghana Tourism Authority invest in you to go for training and also buy your gliders?
They did not buy my glider.
Okay.
They did not invest in my training. The only thing that I could say is that I use their site.
Okay. Which is the Quaye site?
Which is the Quaye site. Which also, if I don't fly, it will be there for the whole year. Nobody flies.
Okay.
So for training, if they have not invested in my training.
So you invested in everything that you
it's self-funded.
Yeah, self-funded.
Self-funded. Yes.
Wow. That's quite a lot of passion.
Yes.
To be able to do this, and then you are not making any money out of it yet, even though your target is not to make money, but to follow a passion.
Yes.
That's a lot of work. Wow. So what's the future for you in paragliding? So
I think my biggest goal or my dream is to, you see, I've seen, from where I came from, I told you, from motorbike, I've seen a lot of people have motorbike accidents. And it is a statement I heard somewhere, and it's true. Like, paragliders are much, much safer than crossing the road in Mumbai. So why I use Mumbai? Mumbai is like a hub, lot of traffic, everything. Car knocks people every day. But in paragliding, you don't get accidents like that. But there's a perception that it's not safe. It's not true. The thing is, you need to know what you are doing. You need to be trained on how to, know what you are doing. Coming back to this country, I feel because we have a huge landscape for flying. If over the next couple of years we could have a lot more Ghanaians come learn solo and get to tandem status, it will be very good for the country. Ghanaians, like across the region, they can fly at any point in time. You can say, oh, Monday I want to go and fly in Volta region. Oh, Tuesday I want to fly in Quaye, that kind of thing. It's also going to help boost the sports and bring up more thinking pilots. Wow. That kind of thing. That's my dream to see more pilots. I want to see one weekend you can say we are going for competition, then we all go 50 pilots, you just go all over Quaye, flying everywhere. I'll be happy to see that. So that means you would want to be involved in training as well? Yes. And that would also cost a lot because you need gliders, which are very expensive. Very expensive. Yeah. Very expensive. But I believe everything in life, if you focus on it, even though there's no money, you still have the hope, the dream that things would work out. So we are hopeful that we'll get to that point. Yes. Okay. So right now, which advice do you think the authorities here should take to be able to change the face of paragliding in the country? So most people, what I'll say is they think paragliding only happens in Easter, and apart from Easter, there's no paragliding. It's false. We are in a climate where, apart from rainy seasons, we have 365. We have almost 300, rainy season June, July, so we have almost 300 days of good sunshine. That means we can fly. All you need is the land and clouds. Those are the main things. So I think people should come out. Authorities should open up the ground for people to learn. It's difficult, but I think we'll start from somewhere. If we have a training center or we get into training and things like that, it's going to help the sport. Thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan Ajinkwe, for speaking with us, and we're happy you are here. And this has been the Lowdown, a very interesting edition. We're speaking with Ghana's only paragliding tandem pilot, and here's Mr.
Jonathan Ajin Quaye. You can watch us every Monday on GhanaWeb TV and on all of GhanaWeb's digital platforms. My name is Ismail Akwei. Be safe.